Patrick Reed, who is, I'm told, with Todd Lewis.
Patrick, we're going to go immediately to what happened on 10. You hit the ball left into the heavy rough. You find your ball after an official points it out. Walk me through what happened after that.
Okay, yeah. The biggest thing was we were in that fairway bunker off the tee and caught it hair heavy, so the ball kind of went high and left. And we were all watching it, and we didn't see the ball bounce, but the lady was pretty quick on top of it, the volunteer, to put a flag. And, when that happened, first thing was I asked the, guys I'm playing with, hey, did y'all see the ball bounce? Everyone said no. And then I asked the volunteer who was right there, who marked it, who was closest to the golf ball, did you see the ball bounce? She goes, no, it did not. And so at that point, told the guys, hey, I'm going to check to see if it's embedded, which I marked the ball, lifted it, and placed it over the side, and it looked like it did break the plane. And therefore, when it looked like it broke the plane, what I did is I called over the rules official, and the rules official came over, and he put his finger down and said, no, there's a lip here. It definitely broke the plane. Therefore, it's embedded ball. You get a club length and, and take a drop. And at that point, we did exactly what we were supposed to do. And, the great thing was when I walked up into scoring and first time actually hearing about it, he calls our group over, has the phone out, and he shows us the video. And we're all watching it, and we're all just kind of confused, like, what's going on? He goes, I just want to let you know what you've done here, and the whole procedure was textbook. It was perfect. So with doing the procedure correctly and doing exactly what you're supposed to do, at the end of the day, that's what we felt was the right thing, as well as what the rules officials felt were the right thing. And it happened that the ball did bounce, and when that happens, the rules official said, well, what the whole group, as well as volunteers, since no one saw it bounce, therefore we were able to take relief. Now, if the video or someone was said we saw the ball bounce, then obviously I wouldn't have marked the ball or even attempted to ask for an embedded ball, because, as you know, if the ball bounces, it's literally impossible for the ball to plug at that point.
All right, let's go through a couple things. Procedurally for you, when you're trying to determine if a ball is embedded.
Correct.
Visually, it looks like, for a lot of people that may or may not know the rules, so you picked up the ball and then called the official. Why did you not just wait for an official to come over and then pick up the ball?
So what a lot of the players do, as well as, what I always do, is when you sit there and whether it's an embedded ball or whether it's a sprinkler head or anything, whenever we're taking relief, we mark it and we check to see if it's embedded first. Because if you lift it and you put your finger down and there's, and it's flat down there, then it's like, okay, the ball's not embedded. You place the ball back as it lied, and then you proceed on. If you sit there and you mark it, or you don't mark it and you wait for a rules official, it doesn't help for pace of play purposes for groups, whether they're behind you or keeping up with the group in front of you. And so, as a lot of the times, main procedures I've always done, as well as a lot of the players always do, is they mark the ball to check first, and if they feel like it is broken, they either go ahead and just take the relief, or they call a rules official, which, with the rules of golf, I always call a rules official, whether I'm taking a drop from water hazard, sprinkler heads, or whether ball embedded or something like that. Because, if you take the wrong drop and there's no rules official, then, because I actually had that happen here a couple years ago. I hit it in the hazard on 18, short of the green, and I took the red lateral drop rather than the yellow drop, because they're different rules. And if you call a rules official and they tell you the drop, then it's the correct, whatever they say goes. And that's why you always kind of call a rules official, to kind of protect yourself as a player.
I understand you thought the ball didn't bounce.
Right.
After seeing the video now, it did.
Right.
What evidence did you have in your mind that you thought the ball was embedded, knowing that it bounced still?
Well, so we didn't know it bounced.
Right, but did you still feel that it was embedded off the bounce?
So when I marked the ball, because after asking the volunteer and asking the players, and no one saw, once I marked the ball, I lifted the ball and I put my finger down there. There was a lip on both sides. Therefore, it's broken the plane of the ground, and if it breaks the plane, it's relief. And so that's then when I called the rules official over, because how the rough's pretty thick. So even though you might feel it, that's why you always call a rules official to make sure. And first thing he did is, of course, put his finger in the hole, and he's like, yeah, no, this definitely is broken the plane. There's definitely a lip here, so it's an embedded ball. Since no one saw the ball bounce, you go ahead and take relief.
Final thing, you spoke with the rules officials. They said you did everything procedurally. Internally, do you feel like you did everything properly out there?
Oh, 100%. I think that's the biggest thing is the first thing you do always you ask your playing opponents, whether you're taking a drop or anything, did you see this or did you not? And if they said and they agree, then you ask the person that's closest to the golf ball, and that would be the volunteer, the one who's having to put the flag there. And when she said it did not bounce either, then you mark it, call rules official, and I'm like I said about the rules official, head rules official said I did exactly what I was supposed to do the correct way. And with that being said, I feel fine. I feel great. I did everything I was supposed to do, and felt even better making a birdie on the last.
You're right in the throes of this tournament. I appreciate you explaining your situation. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, bud.